Hey guys, this is DB. I'm joined here with Ferry, Sorrel, Star Wars Crazy, and Vivek. This is the third week's podcast. We just completed our matches for the week three. We had two matches on Saturday, two matches today, which is currently, for me, it's Monday, but for most of us, it's still Sunday. So we're gonna go over one by one to all the matches. So there were just four matches. One of them was forfeit. There, we won't be talking a lot about that. So the first match was Asia One versus Asia Four. All of the Asia One team professional Asta, Satyam, and Sanjeev showed up. From Asia Four, only Dempake showed up. We gave them an option to either go as a 2v1 or they can go as a 3v1. They decided to take the win, so that went as a forfeit. That's over. The match done here. No other comments on it. Next match of the day was Europe One versus Europe Three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday the next match of yesterday was Europe One versus Europe Three. So from Europe One, the Fearless here already informed us that he's not going to show up. We changed the time for Kazurchi because he was not able to make it at that time. So we changed it for especially for him,
And it didn't
but
come.
still he did not show up. So that was a big bummer right there. Sleeper was alone, which was quite sad because he or she is a good player, and we were feeling bad. But like, there's nothing we could do. Before this match happened, we were getting along with an idea that what if in the end of the matches, in the finals or semifinals or quarterfinals, what if one team, like in the end, it's not really fair that the match goes a forfeit. So what can we do to avoid it? So we came up with an option that a team who have not used any of their replacement, because we have given the option for the teams that even after the registration has ended, we can simply they can, if they don't have substitute, they can add a substitute, or if one of their player leaves, they can add a replacement for that. So that gives a team an option to add two players to their team. Now, regardless of that, if they don't choose this replacement, and in their match one of the player does not show up, they can choose one of the moderators in the spectators to come help them out. So we gave them an option. This was the first match in which we gave them the option, and Sleeper chose Ferry. And looking at this, from what I thought, the Europe 3 was being a lot confident because X Psycho, he won the WLC. Ali Killers, he came like third in
Yeah. Something
WLC,
like
or
that.
maybe like the other. So they were like winners of the previous tournaments. AIM has like won probably two tournaments, WWC one, and I don't know which else. And they were top notch players in Europe 3. They were so confident. And so Europe 1 had only two players, and Europe 3 had four. But two, like, I would say this is like the first time I've seen this happening. But Europe 3 said that they will go as a 2v2, not as a 3v3. 3v2, sorry. So the match happened. Sleeper Ferry versus Europe 3 in a 2v2 in a different situations. And I'm going to stop talking right here, and I'm going to let other people to give their comments on what they thought in the match. And we're going to have Ferry's comment too, because she was playing in it. So she will obviously have a lot. Like, actually, I'm going to go first with Ferry. Ferry, you played in the match. What was happening down there? What was the communication between you and Sleeper? What was your planning in those matches? Or you can not reply. That's okay too. We can go with
She
someone
didn't
else.
have any plan. There was no plan.
Yeah, probably there was no plan. There was no time for the plan.
There really wasn't. They weren't in a VC or anything.
Were they
But
not?
I think Europe 3 was getting like taking Europe 1 was like very lightly, and it makes sense because they were like only two players, and Ferry was like a moderator, so people don't really expect the moderators to be playing a lot the game. But what happened was like kind of opposite. In a 2v2 situation, they did not let them have the win so easily. They put out like a very tough fight, especially Ferry. We were thinking, assuming that Sleeper would be the one carrying Ferry, but it was the other way around.
Yeah.
So Ferry started off, and she was literally carrying Sleeper in the first match. It was going really good. I saw Psycho kind of like mocking playing, and then in the first four rounds, Ferry killed him like fourth consecutive times. It's like, what the fuck, man? And well, they made a comeback and they won the first round.
Mhm.
It was not close, but they still managed to win. And in the next one, the first round from Europe 3, Psycho and Aim played, and the next one, Ali Killers and Simon played. And that one also went as a 9-10. They won by 9-10, which was still close, but it was a good fight. I would really have to appreciate that even in the end, when they were getting really close to be losing, they still did not decide to go as a 3v2. They still decided to keep it as a 2v2, which is like something we all can appreciate a lot.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what comments do you guys have on this?
I'm really like disappointed in Kazurichu because we changed the time just for him and he happened not to come for whatever reason. Like,
That's
what's with
true.
that? Why wouldn't you ask for the time to be changed and then just like not come? I'm actually want to
Yeah.
hear some sort of explanation to that.
He have not been seen ever since then. So
Yeah. No, actually, we saw him today in like, Fairy and I saw him in another server. I forgot which server
guys
it
ask him?
was.
Did you guys ask him why?
No, I
Did
don't
you
think we
ask him?
did.
Oh.
We should have. We didn't.
Yeah. It said like EU3. Oh, that seems like a scary team right now though, because they use their replacement and their sub. So Hysteria's
Yeah.
out of the tournament, and they added Simoon and Aim to their team.
Yeah.
And it's looking like they might take the losers bracket, unless someone can stop them.
I don't think
Something-
anyone can stop them, honestly. I really don't think anyone can stop them. Europe 3, like this is the prediction not just of the next match, but I can predict them like throughout the tournament that they are definitely going to make it to the finals. I'm not going to say if they're going to win the finals because we have some teams in the finals that are playing very good,
Yeah.
including Europe 3. Europe 4, sorry. Europe 4. Europe 4,
2
they can
too.
put up, yeah. Europe
Mhm.
4. Europe, where's Europe? I don't know. I
Europe
can't see the
2
Europe.
is also still in
Europe
the
2 is really
winners
good.
bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Europe
Mhm.
2 and Europe 4.
Yeah.
These are the ones, if they go to the finals and go against Europe 3, I think they're going to put up like a great fight.
Also, SA1 is looking pretty good in the losers bracket. They might have to fight U3. That's gonna
Ooh.
be
Yeah,
a
it's
nice
going to be
match.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
U3 is pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So like we have still very, very tough teams to.
Mhm.
It's kind of like hard to predict, but I'm quite sure about Europe 3.
Mhm.
Because I think they're going to make it on time on matches. It's not going to be a problem for them
Yeah.
because they look quite determined on this. So I don't think there's going to be any issue on that. Sorrel, you did not watch the Europe 1 versus Europe 3. Why am I mentioning you here? Sorry, I'm going to mention you in the last
No
one.
worries.
So the next day, which is today for other people, not me, 4th October Sunday, we had 2 matches, Asia 2 versus Asia 3. From Asia 3, Killers X3, Mr. YOLO, and the name that is quite hard to pronounce, but I'm just going to call him Wayne, Yuri's Wayne. All the 4 showed up from Asia 3, only line 14 did not show up. So Avengers 7 at 6, A45H8, and DPXT Sharpshooter showed up. Now, for Asia match, it's mostly Ferry and me. Ferry is quiet, so I'm going to do this alone. Asia 2 all came. From Asia 3, only line 14 did not come. So it was it's supposed to be 3v3, but DPXT Sharpshooter from Asia 3 kept getting kicked out, and he was not able to be there for a few rounds. So mostly it was 2v3, which we all know how it goes. And even worse, A45H8 had starter weapons and was not able to do literally anything for his team. He hardly scored like 1 to 2 kills. So it was all down to Avengers 7 at 6 versus the whole Asia 2. And there's nothing more to say. We all know how that one should have gone, and it actually did. So Asia 2 won like with a pretty good margin. So that match was over there. The next match of today was Africa versus Europe 4, which was a good map. So from Africa, Warcloon, F Mama, and Navneet and Mashoud, all 4 showed up. From Europe 4, Excursi, Wardlow, and Kyazin showed up. Now, what do you guys have to say about this match?
It almost went to a tiebreaker, but it sadly didn't.
That's true. That's true.
It would have been nice if it did, because both teams were pretty good.
I honestly I wanted to go to go as a tiebreaker. We were having so much fun watching it, and I wanted like a tiebreaker match, but it didn't happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, in the first round, so the first round was in Dustland, and X Kersey was going crazy with the mini G, and just killing everyone in Africa.
Yeah,
And then in the second round, Kiazan stepped it up with the plasma, and at one point, I think there was 3 shotguns in a whole round, and they were just
yes.
yeah.
We but at first everyone was using plasma guns,
Mhm.
and after that, Warkloon, who was as Valido in the match, he decided to go with the pulse shotgun. Now it worked really good for him
Oh
in the
yeah.
first 2 rounds when he was the only one using it, and then when the Europe 4 got the hint of it and they started using it too, they just I don't know what started happening then, but they started losing so bad.
Yeah, there's a little
So
shotgun war for a few minutes.
Yeah.
yeah, true.
Uh,
So Soren, what do you have to say on this match?
Which match is this again?
Africa versus Europe 4, the one that happened today, and you were there.
Yes. So I was so confused about what was going on between Mashuid and whatever, Mama. I'm not gonna say his full name,
Yeah.
but it seemed like he wanted to, like, they were just so confused on who was playing and who was the sub. I guess they weren't really like confirmed on who's doing what.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so I noticed they were kind of like fighting each other low key. They were kind of going at
True.
each
They
other.
were working each other.
And Mashuid even got
Yeah.
kicked. I kind of felt bad for him.
True.
Yeah,
true.
but I mean, there wasn't much going on. The game was kind of a stomp by not Africa.
Europe
For
4.
who's blue?
Europe 4.
I remember blue. Yeah, Europe 4.
Mhm.
Yeah, they kind of did well. They were much more organized. They knew what they were doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were a lot more concentrated. Africa, you could see in the chat, they were frustrated and they were fighting each other a lot as well. They just
Yeah.
weren't like, they just weren't like doing the best they could have done, I
Coordination.
feel like. But yeah.
Yeah, they didn't let Mashiad play at all, even though he wanted to. And
Yeah,
didn't-
I actually need to see who is the sub and who isn't. I actually need to look that up
yeah, we should
on
really
the
look at that.
on the leaderboard, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah. A Warclone, F Mama, and Navneet, they were the people who applied together. Amashud was a substitute that we provided them. But they did not like him. They went for F Mama, but it didn't work for them. Like, he literally scored 1 kill and he died like 10 times. So in the next one, we had already kicked out Mashud because he was joining the teams. So we
also
kicked him
that,
out,
yeah, the beginning
and
of the
then
round,
he
they were
came back.
just
Then he came back, and F1 was doing so horrible that they switched.
They swapped them out.
Yeah, yeah. From Europe 4 was we can all agree that they were rushing. They were not staying in the
Yeah.
base. They would like
Yeah.
rush onto the other base, and the Africa team would go into the tunnels, and that's when they would like spam their plasma grenades.
Oh,
And
yeah.
to that, like, even their shields were not.
yeah, I
working.
remember they were
just
up against the
dying.
wall and they all had shields up and they threw
Yeah.
grenades over them and they all just died at once. It was so
Exactly.
crazy.
Too many
There's
There's nothing.
grenades.
There's nothing they could do. Waldo did really good. I remember he, and like in two matches, in 2 rounds, he managed to like take all the 3 down by himself. One of them was when he was using shotguns, but then the other one started using shotguns and his charm stopped working. So that was a that was a disappointment for him there. But
Yeah.
if the other team had not decided to go with the shotguns, I think Warkloon with the shotgun would have made a difference. But Europe 4, it was a really good call for them to switch to shotgun, so that you can play on the same level, and it worked out good for them, and they took the victory on both one. It wasn't a close match. I won't say it's like very close match, but it was still, we could see that Africa was struggling really hard to push it to a tiebreaker, but Europe 4 managed to have a safe victory, and
Yeah.
that match was over there.
Overall, just the unity of Africa just was off. I'm looking at
Yeah,
the VOD
that's
right
true.
now. They were calling each other trash. Like
Yeah.
they just weren't
That's true.
together from the start.
Yeah.
That's true. They weren't.
They weren't
They
the
were
very best
frustrated, I
team in
guess.
terms of being nice to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but blue team was Europe 4. They were really united. They were They knew what they
Yeah.
were doing together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like they didn't have any substitute, but they were united, which was good for them, and it worked out really good. So now that we're done talking about the matches, now I think we're in the safe spot where we can make predictions. So the next match, in the next weekend, we're gonna have 6 matches. It's Asia 2 versus NA 2, Europe 4 versus Europe 2. Now I'm just gonna focus on the winners bracket here. We're not gonna go down to the losers bracket. We're only gonna do prediction for the winners bracket here. So it is the semi-finals of the winners bracket, not the whole tournament, just the winners bracket. So Asia 2 has Killers X123, Therese, and Mr. YOLO, and there's one other player, which I am certainly forgetting, Yuri's Wayne. So, and NA2 has Miggy, Iceland Noobs, Free Mind, and Six. So Asia 2 versus NA2. What do you guys think? Which one will go into the finals of the winners bracket?
SA2 and
Uh,
what?
What?
NA2 and Asia 2.
Oh, okay.
NA2 versus Asia 2.
Let's see. I need to look at the bracket to see who's on.
I'm
I just
going
said the
with,
names.
yeah, I'm going with NA2. They look
Yeah.
really great, like so far in their matches, especially Six with Free Mind. They were
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, looking at that, that's a pretty solid team.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah,
And
what about
also,
you?
I haven't seen
I'm
Asia.
going for NA2 here.
NA2. Honestly, I'm going for NA2 too, because I saw Asia 2 play a match today, but it's hard to tell about the performance because the other team had like 2 players and one of them wasn't doing anything. So it was 1 versus 3. So still, they were not able to do like, it wasn't like a very victory. It was kind of like a tough. So I would say if they're in this situation in a 3v1, then obviously they're not as competitive. So I'm gonna go with NA2 there. Now the next match is Europe 4 versus Europe 2. So actually,
Oof.
and
You're getting
Eduardo, we know how they play. Okay, I already know what your answer is. Europe 2 has Aphrodite, Destroyer 69, Zeal, and Ex Chapo. Now it can be tough. We cannot like vividly remember Europe 2, but we do know that it is a good team.
It's
Right?
a very good team.
So
They
it's
took down
it's
SA1.
Yeah, I
So
feel like this is
it's-
going to be one of the. It's going to be a very action-packed match for
Yeah.
sure. This match is going to be really good.
yes, but the prediction for this can be a bit hard. So what do you
Yeah.
guys say? Europe 4, which is the team that played today, or Europe 2?
Ooh, that is kind of tough.
I'm going to go with EU4.
Europe 4. Okay, the team that
Yeah.
played today.
I know this is rough because I went against EU2 last time and they won, but I believe in EU4.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm,
Yeah, Star, go ahead.
I gotta go for EU4 as well, because like I don't think we've actually seen EU2 play yet, have we?
We have.
We have.
Wait,
they
what? I
they
just don't
haven't
remember.
lost a single match. But yeah, they have. They went against SA1,
Oh yeah.
and it went as a
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
How did I
if
forget
you
this
remember.
last weekend?
It was X own Spyroon Eve.
Mm,
And
So
yeah.
it was
yeah.
Europe
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I gotta say Europe 4.
Okay, Sorrel,
I'm going to go for Europe 2.
Okay.
Europe 2.
Yeah. I feel like SA1 was actually a really good team.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so
That
I
is
feel like
true.
if they go against like another, because this team is also really good, so they had to fight the battle, but they won it. So I feel like they can win this battle as well if they play well enough. But it's going to be a really hard
Yeah.
match.
Yeah, I
Especially
can
with the
tell it's
skill
gonna
of the
be.
two
It's gonna
sides,
be.
yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a really hard match. I'm gonna go with Europe 2 also because of Destroyer 69 and Ex Chapo because I've seen them playing and it was kind of insane in some spots. So I'm pretty confident in them too. Europe 4 is also a pretty tough team, but I'm still gonna go with Europe 2 here. So yeah, that's it. We can obviously remember now because it's only 2 predictions that we made. With that being said, I don't think there's anything else. We're going to see you in the next weekend. We're going to have 6 matches, so we're going to have a lot to talk on the next podcast. But this is it for this podcast. We will see you in the next one. Adios.